Brown's comments come after an asylum seeker died near a former shelter last week.
The Brampton mayor is calling on Ottawa to do more to address the number of people arriving in Canada without anywhere to go. CTV's Beth McDonnell has been following this story and joins us live with the latest. Beth.
Nathan, the system appears to just be overflowing.
Hey guys, and welcome back to OT Views. My name is Toby. So today we're going to look at a very intriguing episode, and it's going to be focused around immigration. Now, I want to state here, I'm not against immigration. In fact, Canada needs immigration. But there is a serious thing that we should all consider. Are the immigration levels too high in Canada? And is it affecting some of our most vulnerable sectors, such as healthcare, infrastructure, housing, and jobs? And even aside from that, even the immigrants and asylum seekers who are coming into this country, what are they going through when they come here? There's a horror story of 20 people living in one house. The mayor of Brampton said there's so many stories of this happening. Even aside from that, the amount of immigrants who are being charged excess amounts for rent, sometimes their life savings, is beyond crazy. In today's episode, we're gonna see the Toronto Sun. It's gonna be from the Toronto Sun. So they're gonna be talking about immigration and how Trudeau's policies, or just the Liberal government, has really done a bad job of managing it. And I wholeheartedly agree. I think they've done a terrible job. I think they failed Canadian citizens, and I think they failed the immigrants who are coming to this country. I don't think there's been enough regulation around that, and I don't think there's been enough, let me say, oversight on who's taking advantage of these immigrants who are coming to this country. Because I can tell you right now, one of the organizations that are doing that are the schools. Because those schools are charging hella fees to get immigrants to come into their school. The jobs who are overworking workers and underpaying them. So this video is really interesting, and they're gonna touch on various aspects which I find intriguing. I'm gonna do a lot of commentary. I'm gonna do some commentary and just give my honest opinion about it. So follow along, stay tuned, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm a beginner YouTuber. I'm trying to grow this channel, so it'll be really nice if you guys can leave a comment, even tell me how I can improve. All right, let's get it.
Since the Trudeau Liberals came to power in 2015, they've gone about setting up the foreign student program as a parallel immigration system. You can now get on a plane bound for Canada with a $7 visa, and as long as you can prove you've got about $10,000 in savings, you can register at a career college, be admitted to Canada, and then after 9 to 12 months of study, you can apply for permanent residency. Or you just don't leave and nobody bothers to check to see where you are. You can work up to 40 hours a week, soon to be cut back to 24 by the federal government. But okay, you can work 24 hours a week while you're here on your studies, and then you can apply for 18 months of postgraduate work permits.
And honestly, just looking at this right now, immigration is actually crazy. I'm not a guy who's saying, fuck immigration, we don't need immigrants. We do need immigrants. Canada is an immigrant country. We do need immigrants, but it has to be controlled. And I'm not even saying that for us, the Canadians who are already living in this country, but I'm even talking about the immigrants who are coming here. If you see how their living standards are, how they're living, how there's 20, I think in Brampton, they once found 20 people living in a basement. How is that even fair to the immigrants who are spending their life savings to take that risk and knowing that what's promised to them is not what's really happening in Canada? Now, even going back to us Canadians who are living here already. Look at the housing crisis, the healthcare, and just infrastructure in total. Canada, we really can't support the amount of immigrants we're bringing in. The roads are literally falling apart. There's no doctors, no nurses. Our healthcare system is like terrible. And the housing market is so out of control. There's not enough houses There's not enough houses to feed to have the whole population here in Canada, to house the whole population here. And that is because of Justin Trudeau's policies. Now, if you really look behind why we're immigrating so many people, one is because we do need skilled workers, but it's also to mask that we do have a bad problem that's going on in Canada that's been hidden for so long, and that's our GDP growth. Canada is doing terrible. Our GDP is not growing. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It is growing, but it's being masked by the immigrants who are coming into Canada because they know that they have to spend money on housing, food, shelter, but it's masking the real problems that we do have.
And those work permits the Liberals have extended at least 3 times. So there are a number of people who came here. They did a 9-month certificate at a career college, and they have been 5 more years working full-time in Canada. That's what I mean when I say it's a parallel immigration system. You could apply through the regular immigration system, or you could play this little foreign student game that the federal Liberals have. Now, back in January, Mark Miller, who is the immigration minister, said, we're going to put a cap. We're going to put a cap on foreign students. There are too many colleges that have been set up just to milk all of these people who really are looking to become immigrants.
Now, again, that's another major problem that I'm glad that he brought that up. All I'm trying to say is that when you hear so much of the Liberal Party, the Liberal Party for the people, they're trying to go against these organizations, tax organizations. Hey, man, all these universities and colleges out there, they look like they look like the biggest scammers, where they're just finessing money out of these immigrant students for a document that's probably not going to get you a degree, a job. But hey, all I'm going to say is that that's whack. When I see some of the prices that some of these immigrants are paying for just 1 year, you just think of it like it's not even worth it. But hey, and people have been saying this for a long time, but Trudeau and the government look the other way. They have nothing to say about it. Why? Because they're sleeping in bed with all of these people. But nobody calls out the bullshit. Not the media either.
Miller didn't say they were really looking to become immigrants, but it's very clear that's what's happening. But so far this year, the Liberals have let in 216,000
Holy shit.
student permits. This time last year, they'd let in 200,000. They've let in 16,000 more than they did last year. That doesn't sound like much of a cap to me. So the Liberals have created this situation where we have probably about 1 million foreign students in the country. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, which represents the largest economies in the world, says we have the highest stay rate for any of our foreign students. You get it in your head that a foreign student is somebody who comes.
And of course they're going to stay because no one is telling them they got to leave. We're trying to be the saviors of the world, and we cannot do it. Again, I'm not here saying that we don't need immigrants shouldn't try to come to this country. Hell, my parents are immigrants, or my dad is. We need immigrants in our country. We need skilled immigrants, but it should not come to the detrimental of people who are already Canadian citizens. It's not fair. This is the party that's talking about generational fairness. What the fuck do you mean generational fairness? When you guys caused this problem, you caused the problem with the housing market. Okay, they didn't fully cause it, but they played a part in it. Trudeau's government played a part in it with this immigration policies.
To Canada, goes to a big university or college or a technical school, studies chemistry or engineering or mathematics, languages, business. That's not what it is at all. Most of them come and they go to these little career colleges that are set up specifically for foreign students. They work almost full-time or full-time while they're here, and then they protest that they shouldn't have to leave. And the Liberals said they were going to take care of that. But now there are about 1 million foreign students, and maybe more because they don't keep track of who leaves. The official rate for those who stay is 40%. The unofficial rate's closer to 70%. And so what you've done is, in addition to the 450,000 regular immigrants that Canada is letting in every year, which is one of the highest per capita rates of any developed country, we now have all of these hundreds of thousands of foreign students who are being let in, basically so that they can become full-time permanent residents. It is ridiculous for the Liberals to think that this doesn't have an impact on inflation, on healthcare, on housing, on the job market. We were letting in about 110,000 people in all categories every month in Canada. And we haven't produced enough new jobs for 50,000.
110,000 per month. Again, I don't know what to say, guys. I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. 110,000? 110,000 students per month. And there's not even 50,000 jobs being made. And then you have to put a strain on the housing market where you're letting 110,000 plus there's still people waiting to buy houses right now. And we know the regulations in Canada are bad when it comes to building homes. So there's going to be a backlog of people who are trying to get homes, and then every month they're just letting 110,000, 110,000, 110,000. Of course it's going to be bad. And again, guys, I'm not saying immigration is bad at all, but where is the control? Why are people not calling, like, the media is just calling it out now. But this was a problem years ago. And people did say something about it. They said something about it back in 2020, 2021. But you know what happens if you said anything about it? You're racist. You're xenophobic. You hate immigrants. Hell, they might even throw in you're homophobic.
So far this year. I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-foreign student. I had lots of good friends who were foreign students when I lived in residence at university. They add a lot to the experience at universities and colleges. I wouldn't want to cut back on legitimate foreign students. But what the Liberals have done is, at the time when we have a housing crisis, we have long waits for health care, and we have a rising unemployment rate, the Liberals are letting in as many people, hundreds of thousands of people as they can every year. We're going to let in probably about 1.3 million new Canadians this year at a time when we're building houses for fewer than 300,000. We're creating jobs for fewer than 400,000. And we have long health care waits as it is. This is not anti-immigrant.
And again, guys, I have to agree with everything he said. It's crazy. Again, I'm on this guy's side. I am not saying stop immigrants from coming to this country. I'm not even saying deport them, in all honesty. But we cannot be letting the amount of immigrants we are into this country. Not yet. Our economy is suffering. Our healthcare system is suffering. Our infrastructure is suffering. People cannot find jobs. They're not trying to lower the amount of immigrants that are coming to the country. And they're using immigrants to mask the GDP problem that we have in Canada. This has to stop. But hey, guys, thank you for watching today's episode. This is Toby, and this is OT Views. Every week, I'm going to be putting out my honest opinion on various topics. I really want to grow, guys. I'm going to keep on putting videos. I want you to comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me how I can improve.